do a special order with the Godzilla motor, so we'll be somewhere in the 7s with this on it.
Oh, yeah!
We're gonna be bagging this truck a little different than we normally do.
We're gonna put electroluminescent paint on his logo and make this hood light up.
That stuff pops.
Now it's time to cut this thing. Those 4 inches we took out will just be our little secret.
We're gonna turn all the chrome that's on the trucks into gold.
I'm gonna bring something to Florida that they ain't never seen.
Dude!
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
We got shirts coming in. We got a new design coming in also. So, hey, what's happening, guys? You must be Bill.
Man, I am, man.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
Good to meet you.
Oh,
What's up?
Vanilla Ice?
Oh, my cousin. What's up, bro? Good to see you, Bill.
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm great.
Hey, man, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, appreciate it. Same to you, man. That's why I came to see you.
You know, we've had a long list of people coming in and out the door, the average Joe to huge celebrities. But today, Vanilla Ice coming to the door is really something special to me. You know, I grew up on this property listening to his music, so it's pretty cool to have him come through the front door today.
Listen, man, I got a problem. Yo, you'll solve it. I know that's right. I got a stock, brand new Ford Dually Platinum, and I need it to go fast. I need it to look badass. I need your touch, man. Your passion. I need this thing to be the street sweeper.
Man, let's see what you got.
All right, let's go. Bill is a freestyler, and I like that about him, because I collect cars. So for me, it's a big thing, you know, to come out here and have my truck custom done. I think I'm in the right place here, Texas Metal, you know. I'm going to bring something to Florida that they ain't never seen. All right, well, there she sits. Not much. I mean, it's a nice truck, you know, for a stock truck, but she needs some work.
What about that? Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So what's drawing you to this dually?
I do construction, so I pull excavators and all kinds of equipment, and I might load this up with some drywall, but I want it to be a show truck, nice truck, but something I can also go get, you know, construction.
Still use it for work.
Still use it for work, yep.
You know, I love that idea. I mean, you just don't want something sitting in your driveway just looking good. You still want to be able to use it, and that's it. I love that aspect for sure. I mean, what do you think about seeing it down a little bit?
Oh, 100%. You know, yeah, you got to set that thing right, but will it be able to hold the weight?
Oh, man. You know, we'll get rid of all the leaf springs in the back and build a big, heavy 4-link so you can put all that power to the ground. Man, Rob, on this, we got to do air suspension. You got to have that adjustability. You got to have that ride quality.
Yep.
And you got to have that ability to pull an excavator or cinder blocks, whatever it is.
I do, yep.
Having that adjustability of that air in the back to control where your ride height's going to be is most definitely a must on this.
That's what we need to do, man.
Wheels and tires is most definitely a must.
Oh, yeah.
Some 26s on it.
Yeah, you know, I know you know the wheel setup. That's important because, you know, you can make it or break it with the wheels and all that. So
that's it.
Got to put some showcase wheels and tires on this thing.
Any accent colors you're thinking?
Gold.
Black guy.
You like that?
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
I just want to turn it into some butter, man. You know, make this thing be where, you know, you turn the corner and people are like, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. I mean, there's 100 trucks sitting there, and then this one comes walking in, you know? That's the one.
The one thing I really want to see is what's underneath the hood of that thing. Let's see what we're working with.
Let's have a look. They came out with this new motor, the Godzilla, and I know you can put some horsepower on this thing. So this might be a surprise to you. This dually is not a diesel. This gas, a Godzilla motor.
So we got to take this new Godzilla gas motor, and you're wanting to outrun the tuned diesels.
Yeah, it's a challenge. Them diesels go fast.
Yeah, man. Challenge accepted.
Man, I love it. You know, Bill puts his time, his effort into everything. He's letting his passion run loose, and I just love it. I became a fan of his, and can't wait to see this truck, man, when it's finished, and let him do his magic.
Get you hooked up, man.
I appreciate you, Bill.
Yeah. Let's go make it official.
Look out, world. Not all about diesel.
You know, I get really excited when anybody talks about a black dually sitting on the ground. I mean, that's just one of my favorite vehicles. But when Vanilla Ice comes to you and talks to you about putting his, no matter how old you are, you've heard of Vanilla Ice. His music is just iconic. You know, long time ago, building trucks under a carport on the ground on this property, listening to the radio to Vanilla Ice, I never would have thought I'd be actually building him a truck in the future. I mean, that's pretty cool. That definitely tells me we're on the right track and doing something that people love to see. A big dually sitting on the ground, big wheels, that gets me excited. You know, I can't wait to get this in the shop, and I can't wait for Rob to see exactly what we're going to build for him.
Stop, collaborate, and listen.
Yeah. So you obviously know whose truck it is.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Isn't that real cool?
Man, I can't believe it.
A little piece of my childhood comes into play.
Yeah, man.
Rolling on the 5.0, I mean, jam that till the tape was done.
Well, you can be rolling in his 350.
There you go.
Yes.
So what we got going on? What we gonna do for him?
You know, first things first, we got to get this truck low to the ground. But it's a four-wheel drive. Limited on how low we can go because the oil pan sits over that, right?
Yeah.
So we'll get as low as we can go. Once that's determined, you know, big 4-link in the back, big bag, so he can haul whatever trailer he wants. This will handle it.
Man, that's great to hear, honestly, because we're not going to take the work truck aspect out of it, but it also looks sick.
Man, for sure, man. Not only we got to make it low, we got to put big wheels and tires on it too, right?
Of course.
Yeah. And another cool accent that he wants to do, he wants everything that's chrome and gray gold.
That's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, you're working with all kind of different media, plastic, polished aluminum, chromed plastic. That's going to be really, really difficult on something like this. So,
Paint shop's got a lot ahead of them, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Not only that, we're going to paint his logo on the hood, but we're going to have that light up.
Okay, I've seen some of that stuff online, man. That stuff pops. That's real cool. It's like,
dude, I've never seen that.
So we're going to have the Luminor guy come out, and he's going to perform that process on the hood. Once all the color's done on it, he wants some more power too. We're gonna add supercharger.
Man, that's gonna sound good too. A little whine, a little whistle.
For black marks, right?
Yeah.
That's what gets you excited to come to work, right?
Yeah.
Y'all ready?
Yes.
Let's get it.
So we have this F-350 here. What we're gonna do now, pretty much we're gonna tear down the whole grill, bumpers, everything, because we're changing the color. All this that you see that's chrome, the hitch, pretty much everything is going to be taken apart.
Grilling and chilling.
Because we're color matching it, black and gold. Let's go. Alright, go down, start going down. Go up.
Let's pop the springs out right there, he said. We can take the bump selfie.
We're going to be bagging this truck a little different than we normally do. You know, most of the time we're bagging a car with independent front suspension, or we're building an independent front suspension. This has a straight axle. It's a 4x4 truck. So here we can only go so low, and then it touches the oil pan of the engine. Hey, go down with it real quick. Go slow. So we're going to get as low as we can go with the airbags.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
It's sitting on the cross member now, Bill.
Let's go up with this, pull the front wheels off, and just put some stands under it. And then we'll just let it down and make it easier to eyeball.
So basically all we gotta do here is make upper and lower bag brackets. We'll replace the spring with the bag, and then we'll use this top, put our bag in there.
Build the bag. Just the base up 3 inches so it goes over this. That length ought to be good too.
Let's make some flat bar. Alright, so Bill and I got some measurements, a little quick sketch. I got my angle that I need, really good stuff. So I'm gonna use this 1/4" flat bar, and then I got my angle already on this chipboard where I can bend it right here at this point, pop a hole. All right, now that I have the lower back bracket tacked in place, I can start boxing this thing in, gusseting it up. We want to leave an access hole in the back here to where we can get to our bolt hole, and also to where we can bolt in the bottom of our airbag as well. And now I got 2.5" flat, like a cool little gusset for the side. Get some weld on this thing. And that will be our bottom bag. I got 1 of 2 done, and then I can start building my upper bag bracket now.
Nah, there ain't nothing routine around here. We've done 1,000 air suspensions, but everyone's just a little different. To get Rob's 2023 F-350 Platinum sitting low, we're gonna put our bags where the springs usually sit.
So we got our pipes cut. I got a couple measurements, cut them 6.5. Got a little donut here that Jesse cut out for me. So we'll go something like this here. I think that's gonna work just fine. So we got our upper bag bracket, our pipe, and our little donut that you seen earlier, right? And now I can build off of this. Oh wait, nothing's welded to the truck. Just make one bracket here, bolt it in, this will connect it to the truck. There's no need to weld anything if we can go anywhere. All the force is pushing up and down. So this is gonna be perfect for what we got going on here. Oh yeah! All right, so we got our tab in, bolts in, it's all tapped, everything's good. We'll get this tore apart, get it welded, then we'll send it to powder.
This curve isn't bad. We do want to, that ridge there, we want to build around that so that it's kind of flat, right?
Okay. The guys that work at the shop, myself included, we're always looking at what's coming up next in the custom game. I heard about a company that uses paint that actually lights up, and I thought it'd be real cool to light up Vanilla Ice's logo right on the hood.
They're going to, these little 22 gauge wires, we're going to fan them out. So we're going to put a contact point. We want to build around that so that it's kind of flat.
Put some body filler, make it flat.
Yeah, body filler, make it flat, yep.
Yeah, okay, that'll work.
Cool.
Get some tape or something.
Yeah, and I can help as you need. Bill gave me a call the other day. He wanted to do something really cool for Ice's 350. Basically, Ice wants his logo on the hood. So what we're going to do is we're going to put electroluminescent paint on his logo and make this hood light up. It's a 4-layer paint system that is electrified. That when you put electricity to the top and the bottom layers, it energizes underneath the hood here. And then once we put the wires there and connect it to the battery, it's going to be charged. So it's going to be a really cool effect. And we're pretty excited to deliver this for Ice. So Juan got the top side of this scuffed up real nice, so it's going to be able to accept the paint now. Now we got to get this thing in the booth, put that conductive paint on, and we'll be ready to go. We're going to need the logos now, the masks, yeah. So the first thing we're going to do is lay down the negative mask. So that has the logo in there, and we're going to spray it so that the logo itself gets the back plane.
Yeah, like right there.
So it's straight, so yeah, where we need it to be.
Yeah,
all right,
looks straight now.
Let's lock it in. So basically, when we put conductive paint in this area, that's the area that's going to light up. Alright, so let's start painting this thing. So basically, we're going to start with our backplane material. Now we're going to mask off on the side of our target zone here. And then we're going to be able to shoot this. And hopefully we're going to have a nice conductive field here.
This is our conductive paint, kind of like those straps you see on your back glass, like they froze your glass. That's kind of what it is. I mean, this is different for me. I've never done this before. I'm really excited about it. I will have to learn something new every day, and I think this is going to be a really good experience learning how to spray this paint.
Juan did a really nice job spraying this conductive layer down, and I just want to check the resistance of it to make sure that we've got it exactly where we want. So I'll hit that, and we're at 6, which is fantastic. Let's go across the angel here, 6.5. That's perfect. So basically what we're looking for in the ohm meter is that there's enough conductivity in the film to allow the current to flood there without resistance. The lower the resistance, the lower the ohms, the less impedance of the current through the film, and that'll produce a nice, even, bright coating, and we'll be able to power that with the electronics that we have. So the ohm meter tested out everything great. Juan did a fantastic job on this. We're ready to go to the next step.
It's a nice fit. It like fills that thing up so perfect.
So let's just make it the same new 26-inch wheels and tires on to give us some measurements where to start with. Once all the inner and the outer new wheels goes on, we have 100 inches from outside to outside. We just measured the bed, and what we need is 95 inches. So we're going to have to narrow the rear end 2 inches on each side to get those wheels tucked up underneath the bed so it matches the front. There you go. Thank you. You don't have to do that, but the wheels would stick out that far off each side of the bed. It look funny. So what we're going to do is pull the rear end out. We're going to slick it all off, take the factory brackets off of it so it's completely slick, tubes, and then we're going to cut out 2 inches on each side.
All right, so I got the rear end all slicked up, everything cleaned up off of here, all the brackets cut out. Now it's time to cut this thing. I want to get 2 inches out of each side, so I'm going to make a whole bunch of marks, scribe some lines. First, I'm going to pull all this apart though. I want to pull my axles out, I want to pull these off the end. It's really important that we pull the axles out before cutting the housing, because if you cut through the housing into your axle, then you're in a bind. So we'll send these off, measurements that we give them. I'm going to take out this whole center chunk right here, and then we can make our cuts without getting a whole bunch of grinding dust inside these gears. Getting any of that inside these gears will really mess this rear end up and cause a big problem in the future, you know what I mean? So I've had many problems with rear ends. I hate these things. I always take extra precaution now because I've had to pay for them before, and they're not cheap, you know? I learned my lesson. Whenever we put it back together, we want this to be as straight as possible and true, right? So I'll just take this guy here, scribe a line all the way across. You just line those scribe lines back up together. You can't mess that up. Trying to get this right back where it is right now is that's the money maker right there. You want that to be as close to perfect as possible. I need to take 2 inches out, so I got some chipboard, put it in the shear, got me a perfect cut all the way around. That's a perfect straight line on both sides. So now all I gotta do is just take my marker, mark where I want it to go, cut that out, and we're good to go. So we got our 2 inches cut out, both sides. So we're gonna go ahead and bevel this edge now. We'll bevel that edge. It's usually about 30 degrees or so. You know, you want half the thickness of your metal is perfect. You know, getting that root in there and getting all that weld in there and then grinding the top, you have all that weld in there, you have all that integrity. You don't ever wanna just butt that up like that because that's not gonna do anything for you. In a matter of hours, this thing will snap off and you're in a world of trouble. So cool, we got our 2 inches out, everything's beveled. All we gotta do is just get this thing mated and we're good to go.
You know, the most important part about narrowing 2 inches off each side of the rear end is making sure it all goes back together true and straight. If you don't, it's going to create a ton of problems. So we had an alignment tool made to make it 100% true and perfect.
So I got a window here, I can see my scribe line. I can see the scribe line on that one, we can still line it up good. How this works is basically like a little jig, right? And I got these window cutouts where I can get my gun in there and get 4 good tacks on there. Double, triple check my work. All right, I'm ready to tap. fill, we call that a bridge tack. I got a pipe welder background, so I did this for a very long time, so that's the way it's done in the oil field. That's the way we're gonna do it here. I used to be able to do root fill and cap on a 4-inch joint in like 27 minutes. We would do like 11 to 12 joints a day. Anything under that, they can can your ass. Now, this is a good way to check your work here. You put this guy here, we know that this is straight, right? It's a ruler. You can draw all your straight lines off of this. So put it here. If you see no gaps and no inconsistencies, then you know it's true all the way through, right? We're ready to throw a MIG root in there. So the root is your first initial weld, right? That's going to mate the two together. Once you stop, you grind the end of the root. See that in there? You see how it's blue? It's paper thin, and you want to tie into that root. You overlap it, and you keep it going. You're going to start up, that heat is established, and then once you get through, it's just going to fuse through, burn through. You go about a 1/4 inch past that. That's how you do a tie-in. And now, we crank our machine up, a little bit more wire. Jamie, need your assistance. I can that way, and then once I hand it off to you, just keep on rolling. I'm not going to stop. It's just going to fill this valley up. Well, that's all we're going to do now. Well, that's just that speed right there. I don't want this to be flush right now, and that way it's less grinding on me afterwards. Not bad. I'm gonna weld this side before I grind. That way I just grind both of them at the same time. So you have to grind that start and stop there, and then we'll come back, we'll start here, and then we'll go over, and then we can stop here, grind our start and stop, and then we'll be ready to do our cap. Alright, you ready? That's it, buddy. Thank you so much. Alright, cool, so that's our cap. We're all done. We'll let it cool down for a little bit. We'll get the grinders out. Slick this thing up, belt sander, make sure it's all smooth, looks pretty. Then we can slide it up underneath the truck and start building our 4-link. Those 4 inches we took out will just be our little secret.
Let's take the masking off, and then we'll get to the next step.
There's nothing typical about electroluminescent paint. It's a multi-step process, about as close to a science experiment as you can get.
I'm really happy with the way this came out. So we're going to now put the insulated layer on top of it, this dielectric. And what this is going to do is hold the charge that we now have that's going to flood into this angel area. So we want to make sure we get a good heavy coat over the electrified areas, because that'll prevent burning through. We're creating up a capacitor there with the two plates. We want to make sure that they don't touch each other. So this is the thing that protects the paint job. So that will be a nice base for our color layer, which we're putting down right now. So we're going to do this under the black light. And the black light will tell us that we have just enough material down so that we get a smooth and even color. You don't want to be too heavy with this layer, or else it'll block the light. We want to make sure we get it down even and consistent, good coverage all throughout, but as thin as possible. So we're going to be able to know that we get a good consistent coverage, a good even cover when it lights up. That looks fantastic. Good job. So now that that's dry, in order to do that, we actually need to put a bus bar around it first. And what a bus bar is it allows the current to flow evenly around the entire perimeter of the object. So we're going to make sure we're going to put this conductive paint right on the perimeter of this, spray it out, feather it to the outside. We're going to check our connectivity just like we did for the back plane. Once that's done and dry, then we can light this thing up. I think this looks good. Cool. It's dried for about 3 or 4 hours. Let's take it off. Take the masking off and light this baby up. All right, let's see what we got. Contact points look real nice. So we're going to spray this with our conductive top coat with our transparent conductor. Nice thin film on it. But before we do that, We have to check continuity. Make sure that there's no continuity between the back plane and the bus bar. If we do, that means we have a short circuit and there's a problem. We have to fix that. 0. Okay, good. We're good. Second thing we have to do is we have to wire up these connection points, and then we'll be able to then wire this thing under power, spray it, and we hit it with the heat lamp, then it's going to light up. That's going to be spectacular. All right, you want to do edges first, okay? So go center.
Okay.
Go. I'll go. I'm curing right now. There we go. Now we'll let this sit overnight, and then tomorrow morning we'll clear over it, protect it, and it'll be bulletproof from that point forward.
All right, cool deal.
All right.
All right.
Good deal.
All right, man. Thanks. We got the rear end narrowed on the 2023 F-350 Platinum and put the axle housing back under the truck. Now we can start building that suspension.
Usually what we'll do is we'll make our hangers and then it'll run to the rear end, right? But since we have all this extra going on and we can utilize this, we're going to use this for our upper and that hanger for our lower. It'll be a little bit different than most cases. It won't be parallel. There will be one in the front and then one in the rear. And then we'll have our airbag in here somewhere. So with that being said, these holes are all metric and it's all oversized. It doesn't fit what we usually use. Our bungs are for 5/8. This is just a hair over 5/8. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drill this out big enough to put our DOM in here. The cool thing about DOM is it's super, super strong, right? It starts off as a solid chunk and then it'll send something through it and then it pokes that hole and it pushes it out. It's a heavy wall 5/8 DOM piece right here. Doing this is ideal for everything else that's yet to come. We'll cut this whole bottom side of the pocket out. That way, whenever it articulates and we get that travel down, it's not binding up on this hump right here. This is exactly where it's going to be. This is where we want it to be right in line with the rear end right here. So I get my welder, put a couple tacks on here. I'm going to do the exact same thing to the front. In order to get it perfectly centered up, I'm going to take my washer, put it on the back side here, put my misalignment and heims. Now that it's tight, that bolts all the way straight through. There's no way for this to be out of line. And then we'll be ready to start building our link bars. We'll center it over the rear end here. So now, take a quick measurement, go cut some link bars, and slide it over our bung, and I can go in and out as far as I want. The way I like to do this is split the difference in the shank, so you don't ever want it to be spun all the way out, because that's what's holding all the pressure and holding all the weight. Now that we have this tacked in, I'm gonna go ahead and weld this stuff, cap it. Alright, so I got my fillers for my axle brackets. These are gonna go on the outside, box them all in, and then we can also build our back brackets off of this. Alright, so we got everything installed. Our 4-link is good. So we're gonna cycle the suspension, make sure our pinion doesn't drop or rise too much. Make sure everything's good. If we need to make any adjustments, we can now with everything just tacked into place. But, I mean, we've done this a couple of times, so pretty sure it'll be all right.
We're gonna wake up this truck by de-chroming it. We're going with the black and gold candy paint.
Right now we're gonna start mixing up our gold paint for a vanilla ice truck. Most of the time people want to color match their trim to match the truck with the color of the truck. In this instant, we're gonna turn all the chrome that's on the trucks into gold. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna start mixing up our lemonade candy. We're gonna drop in another 8 ounces, which will make 16. And in this case, we're gonna use a 2-hour direct to metal clear, which is gonna be a very important key to this project to make the candy stick to this chrome and aluminum wheels. So Rob wants a twist on this gold. He doesn't actually want a shiny gold. He wants a satin look to it. The satin look is not a real common request for a gold plated effect,
but that's what's gonna make this truck look different from any other truck out there. So we got all of this mixed up. We're gonna start loading it up on the gun and start shooting all these chrome and all the wheels and get it done. So we just shot our first tack coat. The reason we shot a light dusted tack coat is to lock in all the materials without overwetting it. We're gonna hit it with 2 more coats of candy, build up a tone eventually where we want it, just making sure we don't get it too dark. Rob wants a satin finish to this gold. We're gonna hit it with 2 coats of satin clear. It goes on like a shiny clear. As it's drying, it starts doling out to a satin finish. We're gonna let it cure, and that's it for that.
12.5. So I need 18 inches from a wheel whenever it's laid out. Yeah, so I just need to come in 3 inches on both sides.
There's always a trickle down on these decisions we make. We finished the rear suspension on the F-350 with narrowed axles, 4-link, and bigger wheels. Now we need to widen the fenders to make that bed look like it came from the factory that way.
I can see with all my lines drawn here, we're gonna cut this guy here. Give us that little lip to be able to weld to instead of welding straight to the side of the bed here. And then this is what we're gonna take out. So that'll be gone. This will move over. This line will meet this line here. We can weld that seam, and then we can add our 3-inch strip of aluminum and fill that void. I'm ready to start fitting my inner fender wells back onto the bed. So, put this guy here. You can grab both pieces of the sheet metal, and then you just use this little wing nut to tighten it up. I can throw a tack on there. Do the same to the passenger side over here. And once I get everything tacked and looking good, then I can start making my filler. Wow, those are like within a 30-second, which is unbelievable. Now I'm ready to go get a piece of aluminum. I'm gonna make it a little big. We'll get that situated each side, and then I can come in and I can tack it. I'll get all that tacked, weld everything out, grind it all, clean it all up, reshoot some bed liner on this thing. It'll look like we've never messed with it.
So we got Vanilla Ice's F-350. It was special order with the Godzilla motor. So the engine that's in it now puts down somewhere mid 400 horsepower. We're gonna go ahead and add a supercharger on it, which we're expecting to get 350 horsepower gain. So we'll be somewhere in the 7s with this on it. Definitely going to be a huge, noticeable upgrade for this Godzilla. We're going to go ahead and start disassembling everything that's in the way, all the slow parts, so we can make room for all the go-fast stuff. So once we get this installed and tuned, this thing will definitely compete with the diesel engine. We'll go ahead and manhandle this thing up to the truck. We're gonna go ahead and get our throttle body. Just holding it up here, I can already see we have no room to run our charge pipe to our air filter because we got the fan shroud and the radiator in the way. And we're gonna have to find a different route to take to get all this to fit in here. Like I said, we can chop fan blade. It'll work once. So what I'm thinking is we're gonna get this pipe mounted to this flange. And as you can see, we definitely have our clearance from our fan shroud and our fan. Now we just need to get our throttle body mounted out here. So we'll go ahead and build a couple flanges for it, get them welded up and mount it on.
So as you can see, it's all done, welded out. Don't walk over to Matt.
Look at that, fits like it was made to. What looks good, it wasn't the original plan, but we got it to work. Our clearance issues are taken care of. Now we're gonna go ahead and get the rest of our inlet pipe with our filter on it. We just got our air cleaner done. So now we're gonna move on to the next step, which will be our heat exchanger. No mounting spots near it, so I'm gonna have to figure out something to get this thing mounted. Now we got everything everything bolted up, our heat exchanger mounted, got our supercharger on. Gonna go ahead and blow it all apart, get everything painted, be ready for the tune.
One of the things Rob wanted to do is he wanted to incorporate his logo into the inside of the truck. He wanted it embroidered on the back seat, on the armrest. Got it all worked out. Everything looks good. So get it on the truck and get it out of here. We're almost done with Rob's F-350 Platinum. Reinstalled all those D-chrome parts, reassembled the suspension, ran the lines, new wheels and tires. You know, I remember back in the early days of Extensive, just jamming vanilla ice while building some of my first builds. It's been really cool to build this truck for him.
I've always been a car guy. I've always been attracted to what people do to cars, especially paint jobs. I love a good paint job. The cool thing about what we have is anything that you can do with paint, you can do with light now. So we can take all that great style that has been developed over the centuries and make it light up. We want light for the sake of art. That pays homage to all of the predecessors of the automotive customization industry that have done so much work in creating the styles that we're all familiar with in classic vehicle customization. So I have a chemical engineering degree from MIT, and my friend Andy, when he invented this, he called me up and said, "Hey Sean, I got an idea that I can make paint light up." The minute I saw it, the first prototype was the Prism from the Dark Side of the Moon Pink Floyd album. And it was rough, and just a little bit of light came out of it because we still had a long way to go with the technology. But I knew at that moment that we had something special.
You know, one of my favorite trucks is a big black dually on the ground. And today, that truck is finished.
I've been marinating in Florida, just waiting and anticipating, you know, to see my truck. He said it's done, come get it. I booked my flight right away. Can't wait to see it. Hey, what's up, Bill? How you doing, bud?
What's up, Rob?
You good?
Man, I am. It's a good day today.
I'm excited, man. It is a great day.
Man, I'm ready to show it to you, man. I'm excited, too.
Come on, man. I'm a kid in a candy store. Let's see it.
Let's check it out.
Check out some candy. Oh, my God. Dude, look. Yes. I can pull this up for any car show. You can go to a truck show. You can go to a lowrider show. You can go to a 4x4 show. It qualifies for everything. And I can pull my boat down the street. Come on, man.
We do all right?
God, bro, this is amazing. Look at it. Damn.
You wanted something real nice, cool truck that you can still use at the job site, right?
Yeah.
So first thing we did is tore out all the suspension, and we got it down all the way as far as we could. Put some big airbags in it so you can haul whatever you want. Took out the leaf springs and replaced it with a huge 4-link.
Ah, that's how you got it to drop like that. Nice.
And my boy Ryan got after it.
We had to take 4 inches out of the rear end because the wheels were so wide they hung out outside of the bed sides.
You had to cut the axle?
Yeah. Took 2 inches out of each side. We even went as far as going into the bed.
Had to.
Bringing in the inner fender wheels on the bed, re-bed lining the whole thing. It looks like we never even touched it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And it's still 4-wheel drive truck.
I got it all show and it will go. I love it, man. I'm the king of the construction site right here. The factory is so clean. And to do that, it takes a lot of passion to really make it look like that.
One of the biggest statements is getting rid of all that polished aluminum, chrome, and replacing it with that gold.
It looks like it's almost glowing.
That is a satin gold. It's brushed, sprayed the transparent candy gold over it, and then flat clear over that.
And it really sets it off. I mean, this thing looks like Smokey and the Bandit coming down, you know?
And then you see those 26-inch wheels and tires, man.
You see those.
Absolutely. And man, you see we had to top it off with them center caps.
Boy, that's some icing on the cake right there, man. Look at that. That's butter.
Rob, I know you wanted that logo on the inside too, so check this out.
Woo. Even matches the stitching on the seats.
Man, if you like your logo in here, we got something up front for you.
There's
check.
more?
Oh,
yeah. Look at that grill.
It's the first thing you see, man. That sets a whole attitude. Boom. I mean, the headlights too, man.
So you even painted inside the lights here.
We sent the headlights off to Oracle, and they did a little surprise for you too, man. They etched your logo down into the lens itself.
I like all the little details, like every little thing that just makes you go, wow. That's why I brought my truck here, man. These guys are innovative. They come up with really cool ideas. This is a one of a kind by far.
Man, Rob, you wanted the hood.
Unbelievable.
That is not just paint, Rob. That's a light up paint.
So it is true.
Yeah.
I saw something on TikTok. I didn't know if I should believe it or not, man. I was like, that ain't real.
Man, a couple of guys from MIT come up with this paint process where you actually electrify it and it lights up.
So it's actually hooked up to the 12 volt.
Yep.
Man, you got some space technology up in there. Come on now, that's crazy. Hey, turn off the lights and it glows. I'm from the 90s, bro. You gotta do that.
We got one more thing for you.
One more. Oh. Woo. Now you're talking my language.
You wanted more power, so we had to throw a supercharger on the top of this thing. I know that Godzilla puts out about 450, something like that, so you should be getting kind of close to 800 now.
I'm gonna clean the streets. Look out.
Rob, I can't wait to see and hear about you rolling in your 350 down in Beachfront Avenue. Everybody likes a truck like this. I'd just like to thank all the guys at the shop for once again coming through for me. So Rob, man, you liking it?
I'm loving it, man. Ain't no liking, bro. Come on, you guys are awesome, man. I love what you do. Ryan, thank you, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having the trust in it, bringing this all the way to Houston.
Nothing factory's gonna fit in that truck.
Everybody comes here because they want something different. They want something of their own. Go big or go home. Our forling, our axle, our bag mount, and our shock mount gives this thing that bulldog stance. So we're gonna cut this firewall out, and there you go. We got air conditioning.
All the blood, sweat, and tears that's went in this Willys. I can't wait to see it finished.
Oh, look at that. Outstanding.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Morning. How's it going?
Man, it's going real good, Carlos. I've been blessed to keep getting busier and busier. Our builds just get bigger and bigger. And because of that, we're just bursting at the seams, and we need more help.
Well, it's been really nice working here, man. Everybody's great. The builds are awesome. Clients have been amazing. It's just been a good time, man, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to find the right people with the right skill set. Well, let's make it official, man.
All right.
I'm on full time.
I'm ready.
Let's do it, man.
Yes, sir.
Luckily, Carlos came from California to help coordinate our build. And I want to show you something, man. You mind if I drive real quick?
Yeah, where we're going?
You'll see. Insurance paid up, right?
Yes.
You know, he's only been here for a little while, but he's fitting right in. Oh, I forgot something. Let me go back up here real quick. Some days you think it's going to be a normal day. Well, that's total opposite around here. I mean, we're always striving to go bigger, better, and to be the best.
This is not the kind of donuts I thought we were going to go get, but man, this is amazing.
Hey, welcome aboard.
Just doing more.
Yeah, you always got to have that little more, little more. Speaking of,
Man, the text message said come up front. I didn't know this was an intervention. Have I been working too hard? Too much work?
no.
Need to cut back on the amount of work I'm doing?
We watch the cameras and we know better.
Oh, that's right.
That's why we need to talk to you.
What we want to talk about is that Willys.
Okay.
I'm really getting excited about it.
Yeah.
But we're still a long ways away. The 1960 Jeep Willys rolled in a while back, and it was in really good shape. But the owner, he wants a one-of-one. You know, something totally different, unlike anything else, and he wants that just aggressive bulldog look. So we went big, split that cab up into 4 pieces, you know, making it 8 inches wider and about 6 inches longer. Bob Grant, one of the top guys in the game, made that body just look like it came that way from the factory.
Yeah, this is my first big build with you guys, and seeing that thing for the first time was just impressive, and I can't wait to see it finished.
But we're getting close, man. We're getting real close. Once that cab was larger, we had to go with that larger frame. So we built the frame with the same size tubing we use on a 1-ton truck. So it's way strong enough to handle that 6.2 Hellcat engine that's going in it. It matches the size and design of the body. It looks like it came on that Willys. We still need to do the firewall, suspension front and rear.
So we're bagging it too, right?
Yeah, big 4-link with big airbags. You know, speaking of doing something right, John, it's time for the interior.
Cool. I've been waiting. I've been itching, watching everybody work on it and just kind of getting ideas and thinking about being able to do something to that truck. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, man. We don't have anything. We threw everything away.
It's not like it was going to work anyway.
Right, exactly.
It's bigger, it's wider. Nothing factory's going to fit in that truck.
It's on you to fill all that room with a bunch of coolness.
So, custom door panels, something flows, nice lines from the car.
Yeah.
We'll do custom seats, custom shaped foam, covers, whole 9 yards. With custom audio, we'll do it in the center console. See, the idea is to keep all the leg room that we work so hard to get it.
Sure.
So, tied into the custom kicks, just for the kick of it.
Okay, well, I'll just get you the material you need for the interior.
All right.
Just let me know what colors and stuff like that you need.
Your fingers are warmed up.
They're warm.
It's way more just material. I mean, you got plenty of stuff to get started.
All right, well, this has been fun, but I got work to do.
Go do it. We mocked up the engine and because the Hellcat's pushing over 700 horsepower, we're going with an extra heavy-duty suspension.
Now we got the front axle in place, all the front suspension done, even the engine's in place. Now we want to make the upper back supports look as aggressive as the rest of the build. All right, so Jesse got these plates burned out for me. Now I could go get them shaped to fit the curvature of the tubing. God dog. Now we got this bent perfectly. Cleanup time. All I'm doing now is taking all this middle scale and black paint off of it. Giving me some bare metal. Nice shiny metal is better to weld on. Now I got the plate where I want it. I could go ahead and get that welded in. Yeah, just like that. So we got our lower bag mount here, which the bottom of the bag is going to sit on, and our upper bag mount, the top of the bag is going to sit on. Now, next step we're going to do is make a gusset that connects from here down to the side of the frame rail, give it a lot more support. We're going to do it out of pipe as well. Do it like that, we can't get that bolt out. But if we do it like that, we can. As you can see here, this definitely is going to add a lot of support to the end of this bracket. Pretty bueno. Now we got a complete bag mount. Links are in, axles on, got our bag mounts on, last final piece to the front suspension, doing the shocks. All we gotta do is make us some shock mounts that attach from the frame to the top of the shocks. So after doing shocks about 1 million times, we're gonna cut us a template out, something like that. We'll see how close we get to having that correct. Pretty confident it's be pretty close. Perfect. Now we're gonna take this, get that cut out. Now we got all 4 pieces cut out. We can get these sanded, put some holes in it. Now I got the first hole. I can clamp the second one together. Use that hole as a pilot, punch through the second one. Now with everything in place, our 4 links, our axle, gives this thing that wide bulldog stance to handle, the width of the body now, the power of the motor, size of the wheels and tires. With everything coming together, this setup is perfect for it.
So today's the day. We're gonna get started on the door panels for the Willys Jeep. The look they're going after, you know, with this one, that's kind of a utilitarian style. They still want it nice and clean and classy, but at the same time, it's still got that big, beefy, nasty stance to it. So with that, we don't want too many curved lines or anything, so it's going to be kind of straightforward. We'll round out the corners and give it our own touch. Kind of going to be my roadmap for the computer. We'll be able to expand and elaborate on our design, change them around, do what we need to do, and have a door panel. Every one of our builds have to be completely different, so it's really difficult to always keep one-upping yourself, but it's also nice to always one-up yourself. It keeps you motivated, keeps you moving. Next step, stick this in place and get it on the router. It's that magic butter. This is a fiberglass reinforced body filler that we use when we're making gaps bigger than 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. Anything bigger than that, Bondo really doesn't have the strength that you need, so we use this. Helps hold our shape. A little more difficult to sand, but in the end, it's really worth it because it just keeps everything nice and straight. You don't have to worry about it breaking or cracking or anything. Oh, like a glove. So now we've got a nice trim ring built around it. Everything worked out great. Next thing we have to do is build the armrest on top of it. This is one of the things that I just don't like doing with a machine. To me, it's a lot more fun, part of the creative process of building things manually and getting your shapes and things in it that way. You can usually look at something and tell if it's been mostly done by a machine or if there's handwork, how much handwork's gone into it. It just has more of an organic feel. To me, there's no replacing that. A lot of people like to do, we'll do a test piece or something. No, I like to just go straight in, dive right in, full bore. If you're not going to put 100% into your practice piece, you'll never know what the full potential is of the part you're trying to make. Go big or go home. All right, door panel's all body worked out, ready to go. Next step, get some leather on this, get the inserts wrapped, and we'll be ready to put it on the truck.
People come through the shop all the time. Oh man, you inspire me to do this, to weld more in my garage, or to be more hands-on. And then customer comes in, says, well, I've seen how you did this. Well, I want to do this. And the projects they spiral out of control from there. Like the Willys, for example. Bob coming in and just making it look so easy. Cutting a cab up like that and putting it back together, that just ain't something anybody can do.
So we had to cut through all this structure and everything, and when we rebuild it, we're going to have to put it back, all that structure back in.
Union Hone to be able to come in, make it look as easy as he does, make it go back together as easy as it looks, that's really saying something. To make the body lines match up the way they do, the proportions look the way they look. That's a skill set in itself also. Just the cab on the Willys is something we can all be proud on. And having Bob part of that is key.
I know this looks crazy and bad right now, but once we get it all cut out and trimmed up, it's going to look perfect.
This is extensive metalworks. We do metalwork on pretty much every project that comes in and out the door. There is some sort of metal shaping, welding, grinding. All that technique is built into pretty much everything that goes in and out. But this Jeep Willys, every inch of it is metalwork.
It's something that's evolved into a really, really, really cool project that everyone in this shop is proud of. Deep wheelies. You know, the 4-link, new axles, bag mounts, shock mounts, it's all done. Now we're making the heavy-duty hangers for that rear suspension.
This is the easy way I found to line it up and make it all straight. I'm making all the cuts right here without having to do it on the frame. Kind of something cool too, the Willys has a little roll in the fenders, so this kind of duplicates the fender a little bit the way it rolls back. Once it gets welded out, it gets super strong, it's all going to flow together.
Now Tim got these nice hangers tucked in place. I'm gonna go ahead and get these welded out. After that, we're gonna start building a heavy-duty 4-link to accommodate the heavy-duty rear end to handle all the power that Hellcat's gonna put out. It would be pointless to put your basic 4-link on this, so we're definitely gonna put an upgraded heavy-duty 4-link on there to make sure it withstands all the power and torque that this engine is gonna put to that rear wheel. Now we got the hangers all welded in, some good strong welds. Now it's time to get that 3/4 ton axle in and get that 4-link built. First thing we're gonna do is get this from front to back on both sides. We want this thing straight across and even. 12.7 From the edge, I'm gonna mark me a couple reference lines so I know exactly where our axle tabs are gonna mount. So when we set our axle tabs here with the 4-link bar, we know that it's going to be perfectly straight.
You always want to make sure the bar is going to be just as strong as everything else. So if we're using a bigger, heavier duty piece of DOM, so when he does step on it, you should have no problem at all with the 4-links. This is the gravy maker.
All right, we got the top 2 bars in. We're going to tack them in place so it don't move, and we'll get our bottom ones made.
One more time. All right.
That looks right. All right, we got the hangers in place, all welded out. Heavy duty 4-link bars in. Now this thing's going to be able to handle whatever that engine throws at it.
What you doing, man?
Oh, hey, what's going on? So I just got off the phone with the owner of the Jeep Willys, and true to the era of the Jeep Willys, so I printed this out, and it's got all the different colors that they have.
So this is what we're picking from, huh?
Yeah.
That's way better picking through a whole color book, right?
Yeah.
You know, a couple of these, you can just mark these right off the list. Peacock blue, Palm Beach ivory, no. Tropical rose.
Yeah, that Jeep doesn't really scream tropical.
Yeah. One of the things I've been thinking about this, you know, of course, the whole time you're building something, you're thinking, hey, what color is going to look, what it's going to look like in the end, right? And I've been thinking dark green since, you know, for a while now. That pretty much makes it easy on this. That deep, deep green is going to look really, really good on there. I think, you know, you're really going to see all the body lines. I'll get with Juan back there. We're going to mix it up, you know, a little bit. We don't want to have, you know, boring green, but
yeah, you got to keep it a little custom, but
right,
keep it OEM style.
Yeah.
And then it'd be a one-of-a-kind color just for his Jeep.
You know, as far as the interior color also, man, it has to be a tan. I think that deep green with the tan interior, I mean, that's a win-win right there. This is going to stand out like no other. I'm going to go get with Juan, get something mixed up, because we're ready.
Yes, sir.
We're going to make it happen.
Go.
Making that Jeep longer and wider than it was originally, it's not only a metalworking challenge, it means none of the original interior pieces are going to work. John needs to build every part and piece from scratch. And I mean everything.
Got the base of the door panel all wrapped. Everything worked out great. So the next step is finish making the mat pocket. We're going to use this spring steel. We're going to put this like an insert inside of a leather sleeve, and it'll just create our belt that goes across the opening for our mat pocket. Everything I've done has been self-taught. Screwed up a lot of stuff. Had to fix a lot of stuff. I guess that was one of the driving factors when I started doing it, is not wanting to pay for broken stuff. So you got either good at fixing it or not breaking it, one of the two. Then over time you just get better at not breaking it, but still screw up stuff. That's a good looking door panel. I'll put that on a Willys Jeep.
You know, it's no secret, I'm a big fan of air suspension. On-road, off-road, doesn't matter. It's a better driving experience. That's it.
We got a center of our bags laid out. So what we're gonna do is make a perimeter around it with pipe and then plate it all in. That's gonna be our upper bag mount.
Okay, so right now I got our pipe in here. Fix to go ahead and cut out our section of pipe. Then I'm gonna take it over to the pipe bender. Then that's gonna be our upper bag mounts. Jesse just burned us out some plates right here. This is where our bag is actually gonna bolt to. I gotta trim it just a little bit more. Once I do that, I'll go ahead and punch the holes in for the bolts and air fitting. Once I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and weld this thing out all the way. All right. Got both the upper bag mounts done. Everything's welded in. So next is go ahead and put them on the truck.
You know, I've built more air suspensions like the one on the Willys than I can even remember. When mocking up the shocks, it's critical to see how they fit with everything fully compressed. Because I'll get.
Okay, so we got our mock-up shock here, compressed. Go ahead and set our tabs. Got it. Once we do that, we'll know where we're gonna mag drill through the frames. We're gonna go right through the frame. That's gonna tie in the upper part of our shock. Alright, got our hole.
So we got our DOM. The shock is going to hang off the side of the frame and come down to the axle. So we wanted something really substantial to hold all the jarring of the shock. So we put DOM through the frame so we can through bolt it and, you know, tighten it up and be nice and strong.
So it's a sleeve, basically, to go over our DOM. Just cosmetic, basically. You know, it's gonna look better. Okay, so now we got our upper shock mount done. So now we're just gonna through bolt it. Line everything up. I'll tack it right on the rear end right here. Okay, shocks are in. Everything looks parallel. I like it.
So we're getting started on the console for the Willys Jeep. We're going to do a stack fab style box. So basically, we're just going to make a bunch of rings. We're going to put a subwoofer in it. The woofer's going to be on the back side, firing at the back wall of the truck. And we have a good solid foundation for our curve. We don't have to worry about any flex or anything like that. So really good way to go about it. Give it a squeeze. Just got a clamp on here. We're going to let this glue dry for a minute. Once the glue's dry, we'll put the baffle on it, cut our hole in it, and start shaping these sides in. Step one, rough cut. There's just something to be said for knowing that you can do whatever you want with your hands. You know, that's one thing I've always said, because I'll find something to do. I'll find a way to make something. One of the challenges, you know, is you've got the customer, that has certain expectations and they have certain wants and needs. And then you on your artistic side, you're trying to up your game and kind of set it up and push yourself a little further every time. So getting that fine balance between the two of giving the customer what they're after and still putting your little spin and your touch on it, but there's still some constraints at times, and this is nature of the beast. I like it. All right, man. We got this thing all body worked out, ready to go. So the next step on the center console is to go ahead and work in the piece that goes around the shifter up into the armrest. So we'll be able to attach this to the front of the subwoofer box. So the next thing I have to do is start working on the insert and all the parts that go around the shifter. So we can body work that into this panel. Everything starts with a basic form, basic shape. It's just how far do you take it from there? So time to get busy and get some mud on this thing. Chipboard, fiberglass, bodywork, every day. If you're fabricating, you're bodyworking, I promise you. If you're not doing it right. Give it some sandy sands, common thread to fabrication, sanding. Lots and lots of sanding.
Usually because we go with bigger engines and transmissions, we cut the original firewall out. Now it's time to replace it with a new handmade firewall. Even though you won't always be able to see it, we're going to give it that same custom look as the rest of the Willys.
Now we got the cab lifted up off the frame. What I'm going to do is start removing all this stuff that's not needed anymore. And we're going to cut this firewall out and build a whole new one that looks really nice. There's no point in having this ugly looking firewall when the rest of the truck is completely custom. And there you go. We got air conditioning. You know, typically the firewall is flat, but right here where the motor is, I'm gonna make it curve in and curve back out. So not only does it gotta curve in from this little challenge is fun to do, you can't always have it easy all the time, then you get burnt out. Now we're creating our radiuses horizontally and vertically at the same time. It takes a lot of time, but the finished product looks so much better. We got the hardest piece done. Now that it's tacked in place, we can build our templates for what we're gonna design on the rest of the firewall, which is mainly flat stuff with some bead rolling. Should be way easier than that part. First thing I'm gonna do first, cut this in half. So I'm gonna bead roll some patterns that matches the rest of the patterns that are on the truck already. So this panel will match perfectly to the truck and not look out of place. Now we got our first panel. We got our patterns recessed in like the rest of everything. And I raised the perimeter around the hood hinge so that this panel will sit flat against the firewall. All I gotta do is trim off all the excess that's not needed and get it tacked on the firewall. Alright, we got all the panels made, cut to fit. All we gotta do is weld it in.
A project like this Jeep Willys, that's one of the most labor-intensive jobs that you can actually do to a vehicle. Every part along the way is just hours put in. From cutting apart the body and totally remaking it, the frame, the suspension, of course that handmade bed. Most of the time when you have a project, you're working with parameters there. You're just changing, tail lights or maybe changing the wheel well opening a little bit just to add those custom touches. Well, in this case of the Willys, there's no reference points to go off of. Creating the whole bed, it's work, but really more of the challenge is making it look like it came that way. That's a whole different ballgame. Stepping back and getting the proportions right, the right body shape, the flow of the body. I mean, all that is super, super critical. To see how to bend those lines and how long to make the lines and where to put the wheel well opening and how to shape the wheel well. The key is all the blood, sweat, and tears that's went in this Willys it's finally coming to an end. So we're right there at the finish line, and I can't wait to see it finish. When you're working on these big builds, you always learn to celebrate these big milestones.
We'll do it.
With all the months and months of metal work finally done, we can finally send this frame off to powder coat. It's a very big day.
You know, when you finally send off the frame, that's one of them days that you really look forward to because you know all the fabrication's been done. And once you get it back, clean out the powder coat of holes, and you get to start reassembling this thing, and it really starts to come together.
You know, the Willys metalwork is all done. The body shop did their thing. Now it's time for paint.
Green for the money, gold for the honey. Alright, so we're gonna paint this Jeep's Willy, Jeep Green, which that's actually the name of the color. It's called Jeep Green. Basically, it's a military green with some glamour in it. It's gonna be a nice color. It's gonna be something exotic, something nice. All our colors, so now we're ready to take it to the shaker and get it all mixed up. So we got our green Jeep metallic for a green Jeep. It's going on a green Jeep. Looks like an avocado now. This is a nice Jeep green. It's gonna look good. I like it.
As a contrast to the green paint on the Willys, we went with a tan leather for that interior. You know, with that color combo, it'll really make these handmade seats really stand out.
Decided to go with a pair of buckets in it, so I've taken some foam, gotten it all shaped out, so now it's just a matter of sitting here, have something to work off of to make our patterns. Let's see, so we're gonna run center on this. Once I got that, it's just time to start coming up with ideas. Probably one of the hardest parts of all of this is the simple fact that no two can be the same. Everybody comes here because they want something different. They want something of their own. You know, it takes a little bit of effort, a little bit more work to get it worked out, to make it happen, but definitely what we shoot for. Something like that. Foam gives our pattern some workability, make it lay nicer, look better. And now we play Tetris. Let's go sit down and do some sewing. Oh yeah. We got two halves of our insert. We're going to put these together. We're going to make a strip to go up the center. Get that sewn down. It'll custom top stitch. So it's like drawing on it with a marker. You get it crooked, you're going to see it. All right, we got the first insert done. That's ready to go. Next step, rinse, wash, repeat, and go on to the next one. Our parts and pieces back from the powder coat. There's 1960 Jeep Willys. You know, it's bare frame, so we're putting on every part and piece.
We got the axles painted, all the 4-link bars, powder coat tapped out of them. We got our Hellcat red eye engine transmission painted. Everything's going back together. It's looking really, really good. I love the gray hammer tone next to the green metallic. Man, it just looks very classy, but it still has that military kind of feel. So I think the colors are going to go with this perfectly. You know, this is one of my favorite parts of Together. It just reminds you, you know, when you're a little kid building that model and creating that little masterpiece. Well, this is full-size version right here. Can't wait to see how this wide body is going to look on this chassis.
Right now I'm just doing a layup for the kick panels on the Willys Jeep. Trying to get this thing set up so we can get the machine running. No matter how many sets of kick panels I've made or how many panels I've made, whenever we're building these cars, every one of them's different. Every bit has its own way of making a mess out of me, so dirtiest tool in the shop besides me. We may start with a template from another one, but from there we just elaborate on what we've already got. Then we have something that's totally unique, completely different. No one else has it, only that one truck. So everything has to be different.
Hey, man.
Hey, what's up?
These are great. Those are the kick panels?
I could use a little bit of help. Listen, it's easy work. This is the trick. I've got all the drawings for the Willys Jeep.
Okay.
I just need you to take the drawings out of the software and put them into the laser software so we can feed Lace Fonda and she can cut out some trim rings for me.
We're going to feed the new beast.
Yes.
Feed the beast.
Chomp, chomp, chomp. The advantage of a laser cutter over a CNC is speed and precision. The laser cutter is very fast and very precise. It doesn't need to go over the cut multiple times. One cut and it's perfect. Unfortunately, the machines won't sand for us, so we still have to sand. They'll never be able to do away with us.
The Willys is one of the biggest builds we've ever done here at Extensive. This build took a little longer than expected, maybe a little over budget, but it's something myself and all the guys are really proud of, so I can't wait for you to see what we got for you.
So growing up, my dad always had different kind of cars. Kind of a running joke in my family that every time my dad went on vacation, he got a new car. After high school, I got real heavy into cars. I met an owner that owned her. I fell in love with helping people build what they wanted to build. So the way I got here is, it was kind of a funny thing. They had put a post out looking for a parts person, sent in a resume. Took 3 months before I heard anything back. At first it was a text message. Hey, this is Bill Carlton with Extensive. And at first I thought it was just one of those free hotel stays in Hawaii. But later that night I get a call from Bill, said I came out for the week and I just fell in love with the place. Being a kid, picking up old magazines of trucking magazines and stuff like that, I would always see the Extensive logo, and I just knew there was no way that I can pass this opportunity up. It didn't take me but 3 days to talk with my wife, make the decision to make the move.
Today's the day to really see how we did. Man, there is not another Jeep Willys like this anywhere on this earth. And I can't wait to really see how John and Scott are liking it.
Bill. What's happening, fellas?
How's it going? Hey, good to see you. How you doing, man? Good to see you, Bill. Good to see you guys, man. How you doing?
Doing great.
Man, you're about to be doing a whole lot better.
Bill, I've had a truck for a while. This guy's been on me forever to get this truck done, and I can't believe it's done. I keep pinching myself.
I know he's been on you, but we've been getting the emails.
Yeah,
but today,
ready to check it out.
All right, John, come on.
Oh, you hear it? You hear it? Oh, yeah, baby! Oh, look at that! Wow! Look at that! Outstanding! Woo! Good job, baby! Oh, man! Oh, man! Look at the size of the frame! Wow!
out here.
That looks good.
Is that wide enough for you?
That is wide enough.
Is
Perfect.
that a bulldog looking
That's
up
a
for you?
bulldog. Look what I was looking for. Yeah, that's well worth the wait just to see what it looked like. I was so excited to see the difference of what it was when we had dropped it off.
Got a kid in a candy store here.
That's true.
Man, I'm glad you like it. I mean, we're all super proud of this.
Oh yeah.
We spent a lot of time with this truck, right?
Time, yeah.
The first thing we had to do is chop the cab up. You know, had Bob Grant come in, we made it 8 inches wider, 6 inches longer, just to give you a lot more room.
When my dad was talking about cutting the cab in 2 sections, that kind of blew my mind. They did an awesome job.
We added 4 inches down each side of the hood and down on each side of the grill.
Looks factory built.
Yeah,
It
that's
came
the
from
point. That's
factory
what
that
you
way.
want is knowing something's been done. It looks really cool, but I can't quite put my eye on it.
Just perfect.
You know, and one of the next things we did is we built a whole new chassis from front to back, and you know, we built in custom air suspension with that chassis too. So if you don't like that stance, you can ride a little higher or a little lower, and it's a transfer case in there, so you still have the front wheels pulling also with the flip of a switch.
Exactly what I was looking for.
It's perfect. The stance is perfect. It sounds mean. It looks mean.
Yeah, man.
First thing we're gonna do with this truck is just show it off.
Take home some trophies.
Yeah. Love the wheels on it. Just what I was looking for.
Big 24s on it just look like the perfect proportion.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, coming down at you, you just automatically notice that color, right?
I love the color. It just sparkled.
And the paint is so nice. You can actually reach in and touch the flake. Man, it's awesome.
You want to see under the hood?
I want to see under the hood.
Oh,
yeah.
Serious? Look at that
Beautiful.
thing.
Whoa. Beautiful.
You know, got the Hemi under the hood with the Hellcat Red Eye supercharged. There's about 700 horsepower under the hood.
Hear those wheels? You're going to be spinning. Great.
And we had to custom make the firewall to fit not only around the engine, around the big transmission also.
It looks just like they came off the assembly line. Just perfect.
Yeah, it's a 1960.
Yeah.
We've done a lot under here, but this isn't the only thing. Old John Burgess did a lot inside the cab. Let's check it out.
Okay.
Wow. Look at that thing.
We had to start from the very beginning. Threw it all away because, for one, nothing was going to fit, and for two, nothing would match what they've done to the truck. From A-pillars and B-pillars to seats, we were able to hide the subwoofer in the center console. We got your speakers in the kick panels. Everything plays nice and loud. It's in your face, nice and clean. Custom door panels. Nothing in this is from 1960.
Took a blank canvas and made it a masterpiece.
Yes.
We got one more thing to show you in the back.
One more?
Yeah, okay, one more.
Right.
Sounds good.
What do you think?
Okay.
It's nice. Wow.
Oh.
We didn't bring it to you like this.
No.
Oh,
So,
and you nailed it. I love the custom corner there. That's where it goes
Yeah.
on the box. I love that.
this has all been constructed by hand.
Wow.
It was just a pile of sheet metal when they started.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
You said build you a cool truck. How we do?
110%. Love it. You guys did a great job. I want to thank everybody over Extensive that worked on the Jeep. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You did a great job.
Yeah, it takes a team effort to do something like this, and it's awesome to see everything get together. And
The team hit a home run.
Yeah, they did.
You know, we love what we do. We love building stuff like this, and I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to build this for you. I am very, very thankful, each and every guy at the shop, for making it work all day, every day, and making vehicles like this one of a kind. Well, fellas, we're going to get back to it.
Okay.
All right.
Ford is a gift for Dad from his daughter.
Once we get sheet metal on this will all tie in. It'll look real clean.
We're going with aluminum and walnut.
This will make it so that the bed will articulate up and down.
These are the candy colors, right?
Really going to make that truck pop. Mirror finish.
The new Coyote engine is going to give this truck a lot more power.
It's going to start, right, Matt?
Oh my God.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Well, I know you're here to get an update on something, but finally all that chrome showed up.
Man, it's about time, right?
Yeah.
That's definitely a slow process. You can't get that fast.
I mean, that's a good thing. So another good thing is I've been here almost about 2 years now.
Already?
That's what I said. I mean,
man,
it felt like we just started here.
Yeah.
And what a wild ride it's been.
2 years, man. What's been your favorite build so far?
Man, there's been a couple. The Tinker truck we did last year, that was pretty awesome. You know, that was the first one I got, you know, thrown at the wolves with, and seeing that thing as big as it was coming in here, you guys doing that air ride suspension on it, and just really taking that truck over the top. But since then, there's been so many different builds, you know. I guess sitting right now that I really like that 53 tow truck. You know, that thing.
Yeah.
When that thing came in, I didn't know to get you guys tetanus shots or a new truck. I mean, but then what you guys did to that bed, that frame, I've never seen anything like that.
You had any easy ones?
I haven't had any easy ones.
I don't think I ever had either. Speaking of the latest challenge, you know, the 49 Ford. Huge project. You know, this is one of those projects that I was kind of iffy of taking it in or not when it came in. As bad shape as it was, you know, sitting on the trailer out there. But getting it into the shop and getting it all tore apart, getting it blasted, getting it back, which is always kind of nervous.
You don't know what you're going to end up with.
Yeah, man, but it was in fairly decent shape. From that, building a new custom chassis, granite rear suspension, and with it, you know, first for us.
That engine with that rear suspension, man, it's...
Putting that Coyote in engine trans, you know, it's going to be a good running truck too, man. You know, it's been a long project.
Oh, I know, yeah.
But, you know, we're at home stretch now. Building the bed floor, we still have to do that. Build running boards, paint and body. On this one, it's going to be a candy paint. Has to be.
That'll make it stand out.
Definitely, man. And then once that's all done, you know, of course, John's got to do his thing.
That candy paint, chrome, John's interior. This might just be my favorite build, though.
It's going to be a beautiful truck. I'll tell you what, one of the last things we need is wheels, and there's going to be a whole lot of other stuff, though, too, man, so get ready.
Yeah, well, whatever it's going to take to get this through the finish line, man, whatever parts and, you know, all that.
Man, don't make us wait on you again. We've done a ton of metal work to this truck already, but we still have a few more custom pieces left. One of those is a custom running board that'll just go with the overall look of the truck. And Ryan and Dustin are finishing that up right now.
So we got our running board this far, and now we got a real good idea of what it's going to look like and the route we want to go. It wasn't enough, so then we brought this little piece in, gave it a little bit of flow, you know, to go into the outside of the fenders like we want. Once we get sheet metal on this will all tie in. It'll look real good, real clean. But we got this far. Now we need to catch the other side up, make it look exactly like this, make sure everything is perfect, and then we can start doing our sheet metal work on top. Roll this bad boy here. I need some type of reference that I can measure off of that side and the same on this side, so I can make sure that these are landing exactly where they need to be. You don't want that one to be out of an inch further than this one. They're only as good as the worst thing you've done. Normally when we bend anything, we got tubing benders that do all that good stuff for us. But when you bend square tubing, it likes to kink the top of it. It always leaves like a little kink, like a little pinch. And you gotta spend all the time either grinding it and then it gets paper thin and it turns into a headache. It's a nightmare. So the best way to go about doing this, to put the bend that we want in this, is to pie cut it. So we're just gonna cut some slits in here. It's not gonna take a lot, and it'll give the perfect curvature of the side of the cab right there. Alrighty, make a little filler piece for that. Instead of bending this and rolling this way and then having to roll it back, that would have been really, really hard doing it to that piece. Our sheet metal will go all the way to here, you know what I mean? It'll all be one piece sheet metal, so you'll never know this was added on. It's just to give a little bit of character, a little bit more flow into the running board. And see, once we cut all this off, behind here, that will bolt into the fender, and this will all be part of the running board here. This will be gone. All that is gone.
Ryan and I got our running board frames established on the 49. Now we're going to go ahead and go off sheet metal here. We're going to take our sheets here, take them over to the brake, get them broke, take them to the truck, and then get them trimmed to fit our frame perfect for a nice reveal. test it on the truck. I'm sure there'll be some minor finish trimming and buffing, and then we'll be good to go.
Now, the sheet metal piece that we've made and cut and everything fits perfect in here. Everything lines up. We got it tacked to the bottom of the bed, and now it's time to start tacking it in. We'll tack it to the 1.5 inches, and there's also going to be able to see daylight right through there, so we got to figure out a way to, make all that look good. Once we got it good and tacked and everything, we can pull it out, cut all this excess off, and put it in there and see what you got.
Right now I'm making some filler pieces for the front fenders that'll weld in, and then we won't have a gap. Voila, it'll look real nice.
Alright, so now Dustin and I have got the last pieces on for the running boards. One step closer to having all the fab work done on the truck too. So now we'll get on to the next step, which is I don't know yet, but
The next one.
yeah.
I want to show off all the custom metal work on the 49 Ford. So we're going to make a bed floor that'll actuate up. So we got our stock for the bed floor of the 49 Ford. Now that Bill's got everything laid out, kind of has his idea going on what we're going to do, we now know how wide each board needs to be. So to keep it safe and keep everything uniform, I've got some fingerboards set up. Needs to be, and from that point, it's just a matter of feeding it through, getting it all cut. We'll get back over to the truck and make sure it all works. We're going with aluminum and walnut to get it form and function, just like we like it around here. The aluminum is a great idea because it's lightweight and low maintenance, but it also gives a great look breaking up the walnut. And once Lewis stains it, it's going to look really, really good.
All these aluminum channels and the woodwork, we're going to bolt all that together to make the bed. So I'm going to set this up here, clamp it down a little bit so it doesn't move, and then I'm going to mark in between so I know where I'm going to cut. I'm actually an upholstery man, but I own a machine shop. I do little parts on the side, so I do this for Bill. I've known him since he was like a kid. He came over to my shop one day, and I was building my shop, and he said, I can do this. And I said, sure you can. Because, he welded. Boy, he never stopped. He just kept growing and growing. Okay, I got these pieces marked out. I'm going to head out and get them cut so we can get this pad put together. Alright, we're here at the machine shop, and I'm fixing to cut these channels in here. I'm going to move the table up until we touch the tool. I'm only doing it by eye. We have to cut it out a little bit at a time. You can't hog this material out. You have to cut it out. I always have eye protection.
When the 49 Ford came in, that's one of those projects you really just shake your head going, oh my God, what am I getting myself into? A lot of the times when projects look way too far gone, that just opens up more possibilities for building more custom into the project. Pretty much I just need the basics to start with, like a decent cab. When the frame's a little tweaked, hey, even more reason to build a brand new one. When suspension rides like crap, we're going to tear it out anyway. It's endless. It's whatever your brain can think into a custom car. A lot of people start with a drawing. I'm going to build this. Well, in my case, how I like to do it is just getting a feel for the project and just building on ideas as you go. I think in the end, you create a way more special, a way more unique vehicle if you build it along the way. A good example of that is the bed for the 49 Ford that we completely hand-built one piece at a time. And after a lot of work, John's finishing the floor right now.
You know, it's been a lot of pieces to get here. We've got the aluminum slats that Joe made in the machine shop. I've done all the math, got everything figured out, got the wood pieces cut, everything fits in perfectly. So now the next step is to take and actually attach the wood to the aluminum. We'll put them back in the jig and work out getting these things bolted together. Oh, Cleve, you got 3 big bones now. You won't be able to see any of the fasteners. They're all going to be hidden, bolted together from the inside. You know, it's going to be a really nice look and really clean on the truck. So the key to this is going to be keeping the wood nice and flush with the aluminum. Got my countersink in there so I can hide the hardware. Once I get one, repeat the process 7 more times. So the next step is to drill a hole in the middle through every one of these pieces and make them all line up in the same place. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to set up a jig in the drill press to work from the end that I've already cut off, to measure it out, put the hole in the middle, and it'll be in the same place on each one of them. So I got all the middle holes drilled out, everything's going to line up, so the next step, lay it here on the table, get it squared up, and see if we can get our rod through it. This rod is going to help sandwich the center of it together. Come on. Almost there. Over your hold. Nice. I'm going to set up some clamps, start pulling all this nice and tight, put a couple of bolts in it to hold the end caps on. That'll be on the bottom of the bed cover, so when it's closed, you won't see them. Joe made this piece for us here. He machined it down so it'll fit perfectly inside of these square tubes. And what that's going to do is it's going to support the ends and keep it from sagging. Got everything marked out where it needs to be, so we'll go over to the drill press. Make sure that I get these things drilled perfectly square into the material. That's one of the things about projects like this. People will look at it, oh, that's nice, that's cool, that's neat. But they'll never really understand the amount of work and labor and effort that goes into making something like this. As small as this project is, in the whole scheme of things of the whole truck, there's still a ton of work put into just this one piece alone, not to mention how much goes into the whole truck. So next time you look at a really cool, nice, custom-built truck, give a little bit of thought to how much work is done that you don't see. Someone's put a lot of effort into it.
Hinges made for our truck bed on the 49 Ford. So we got them drilled, tapped, bolted down now. We'll go ahead and get it back on the truck and finish getting our hinges made. Now we need to make hinge mounts off the frame of the truck. So I'm going to go ahead and make these out of 1/8 inch up and down. So we're moving on to actuators now and trapdoor action. I got this 1/8 inch plate here. I'm going to get some tabs made, and that's going to locate our actuators on the bottom of our trapdoor. And that's what's actually going to make the bed or the trapdoor go up and down so you can see all the great work underneath. We got our actuator mounts cut out, tacked up, and we got them installed on our trapdoor here. I'm going to go ahead and attach our actuators now, and then we can go ahead and locate them on our frame, weld them up, try it out, and see if we can make a trapdoor go up and down. Trapdoor. You can see our awesome work underneath, see the awesome frame. Good to go. So we got the cab pulled off the 49 Ford, got all the sheet metal finished up, threw magic on it. Yeah, you're pretty good right there. I got the chassis rolled in. Now it's time to disassemble this. We go all the way up and get it out of the way. So So I'm gonna get the motor pulled out, suspension pulled out, get everything disassembled, weld out what needs to be welded, then we'll get it shipped off to powder coat.
So as you can see, we got the 49 Ford pretty much wrapped up all the way in the exterior. Only thing left is the dash, and as you can see, it has all these imperfections that I have to address. I got a sander, get it ready so I can put body filler on it. Once I pretty much body work all this and we have it ready, we will put 1 coat of primer and we'll see what we have and probably add some more. Now that I have the dash sanded pretty much all the way to where I can start body working, I'm going to use a little bit of fiberglass to smear on it and to dress all the big imperfections. Once that dries, I can be able to block it. It's important to make sure that you wipe kind of following the contour of the metal. So by the time you start sanding and blocking, it shouldn't be too much of a hassle. Most people don't really focus on the inside, but once you're behind that steering wheel, you get to see all the details that this dash has. And once I get done with it, he's going to be real happy with it.
As we get to the end of a job as big as the 49 Ford, we got to do a bunch of things at the same time. While we're finishing up the bodywork, John's going to get going on the interior.
I'm going to start with the door panels. So I've got the ideas in my head of what I want to do, so I'm going to get them on this piece of chipboard. I'm going to make an insert that'll go inside of these, bury some lights. That way we can get a nice trim light all the way around these pieces. Speaker's going to go down here. I want to add carpet down on the bottom of this door, guard it against bumping. We got walnut in the bed of the truck, so we're going to put some walnut inside. All right, that's that. I'm going to get some measurements and get it all in the computer and get the machines to work. So the router's done its part, made my pieces for me. So next step, a little bit of work on the router table. Take all these insert pieces, get them glued into the base pin inserts, start doing some body work on them, get those ready to go. So once these are done, the door panel will be ready and start some body work on that. And just about done. Well, all the body work's done, inserts are on, everything's where it needs to be. So the next step, get it on the truck, trim in the sides, the thing will be ready to wrap, and we can move on to the next. One of the first things you notice on any vehicle is the color. I want this truck to really stand out, so we're going to go with the special candy paint. And right now it's time to pick out that color. Jose, what's happening?
What's up, Bill?
49 Ford spray outs, huh?
Spray outs, man. We finally got them dialed in. What do you think?
These are the candy colors, right?
The candy lemonade, yes, sir. So we got a 24 karat gold base, charcoal gray metallic base, and a black metallic base.
So same candy color, just different base color.
Same candy color, different base colors will give you a different effect.
This one's just, man, I like it, but it's just a little too gold for this truck.
Yeah.
It's going to set it off.
Oh, for sure, man. We'll go about 4 coats of metallic black base, 4 coats of candy lemonade, and then another 4 coats of clear, which is really going to make that truck pop because of the contours of the body line.
That's what we need right there, but we need a whole lot of it.
We got you.
For sure, man. You need these?
Nah, man. Go ahead and keep them.
That's some target practice?
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
All right, man.
All right, brother. With the candy lemonade, we're painting a lot of pieces on this truck, from the frame, motor, transmission, body, in and out. In this case, we're mixing up a 5-gallon bucket batch to get more consistency of the color versus trying to mix a gallon at a time. We could kind of throw off the shade and we do it that way. So that's what we're going with the 5-gallon bucket. So this candy has a pearl, what makes it flop. A flop is going to give you a dark and a light look depending on how the sun hits it. What makes candy a candy is a translucent tint that goes over a certain base that gives you a certain look. Without that base, you won't see that deepness of the candy. Got a quart of candy pearl base coat. We're gonna dump it in the quart of reducer to the quart of candy pearl base coat. Now it's time to spray this motor, transmission, and frame.
So we got the frame painted, engine painted. We're gonna take it outside so they can put it all together. And we're gonna bring the cab.
Alright, so we got our black sealer on there, and we're gonna go ahead and hit it with our black base coat. And we're gonna go ahead and hit it with our candy.
So we're gonna have to paint everything at once. We can't do piece by piece because being a candy, everything has to be the same so it can match. We can't mess up on this one, so everything has to be done at once.
Alright, so we got our 2 coats of candy. We're gonna let it dry. Put it all back together and paint the whole truck at once.
A candy paint job is a lot of work. A lot of going around the car, precision on your equipment, using the right material. Preps is key. If your vehicle is not prepped right, anything after that's gonna fail.
So we got our clear coat on there. Everything's looking really good. We're gonna let it dry overnight. Bring our last piece, which is the bed, and make it look good as the rest of the pieces. The 49 Ford is all painted and the suspension's all back from getting chromed. So now we're gonna get it all put back together.
And the 49 Ford's gonna come out very, very nice. And with the chrome, the polished stuff, and the candy paint, boy, it's gonna be slick.
But it won't like...
We'll get it to go in there. Here, watch this.
Hit it harder.
That's right. We got all our parts back from getting chromed. I'm going to go ahead and start assembling suspension parts, bushings, heims, and getting everything greased up, anti-seized up. Just full assembly right now. There you go. We got Mr. Corbin here helping me out. Anytime you send parts to get chromed, you always have to go through and clean threads like what I'm doing right now. There's always stuff that gets in the threads. And if you don't go through and clean it out, then you generally end up with a seized bushing or heim in your part. You put anti-seize on whatever part you're installing as well. I'm gonna thread that one in. And that will ensure no seized parts in your brand new, nice chromed pieces. Man, the chrome parts are very pretty, very so much more clear under the truck than a powder coated part. Great finish, man, that's mirror finish.
Every build around here has a story. It's cool to think this 49 Ford is a gift for Dad from his daughter. We're at the stage now where Matt's gonna wire it all up.
So right here on the inside of the truck, this is where our fuse panel is mounted. We're gonna pop our holes out right here so we can bring our wires out and hug the body as close as possible, and then we're gonna hit the frame right somewhere in this area. That way when everything's together, all this will be hidden. I've checked 4 times, but I'm gonna check again. Definitely being extra careful. I mean, I got 1 shot to drill the right holes. These are the bulkhead fittings we normally use, running air lines into the cab. You'd put this in there and push your airline in there. But this is the first time I've ever used it. Bill said, we don't want to see no wires on the frame, no zip ties. Forced me to figure something out. I know this keeps a nice tight seal, keeps water out and stuff like that, so I figured why not run wires through it. Trying to keep it tight to the body, but still, I guess, symmetrical looking. So it looks like it belongs there and it wasn't an afterthought. We're gonna go ahead and drill them now. We started with a small hole, a pilot hole, and then we slowly step up the sizes. It makes the hole easier to drill when you do it that way. And also we don't wanna create too much heat. Since the frame's painted, it'll start bubbling up. None of this anybody's ever gonna see, but every build I do, I like to be not necessarily better than somebody else's build, but I like to be better than my last one. Luckily for me, this idea is working out the way it should. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the rest of them and get it tied up. The last piece we have for the 49 Ford is the center console. We got room now for the 3P controller. We got window switches. We got switch to control the tailgate, switch to control the bed floor, headlights, dome light, interior light, dimmer. Those things sent over to Lewis. Let Lewis do his magic on it, and we'll start building the console.
I've got a collection of stains here, John. I'm just gonna try to make it
Make
work.
something happen?
Yes, sir. I think it'll work out. We're gonna apply our wiping stain, put some clear on it, and we'll be good to go. This is a water-based wiping stain, so it dries very fast. It's gonna highlight the beauty of that walnut, and it's really easy to work with. What I really like about the stain, it's very uniforming, it's very forgiving, dries real fast, and pretty much immediately just go ahead and apply our top coat. We're gonna go ahead and put our solvent look sealer. This is really gonna bring out the beauty of this walnut and keep it well protected for your scum. Now we're gonna go ahead and sand this, make sure it's nice and smooth. So walnut by nature, it's very grainy, so we're gonna sand it really well and apply our final coat of top coat, and that'll be done. This is an electric spray system. It has low overspray, so since we're not spraying in a booth, this is gonna be the perfect machine.
All the pieces are done on the CNC, so now it's just time to put the puzzle together. Stack, stack, stack. We're just going to use a little bit of stack fab here, stacking all the pieces up, fabricating everything in a stack. Pretty straightforward there, huh? All right, so the first half of the console is in place, fits good, shapes look great. I'm gonna go through and put some body filler in to fill in the gaps around the front. Once that's done, do with the body work, we'll be ready to build the back half. All right, so the top and the back half of the console is done and ready to go. So the next step, start building the sides, get it in place. A little bit more body work. We're ready to wrap it, and we can kick it out the door. Anytime you're building a console, keep in mind your designs, your shapes, make everything as kind of flows together, something one-off, something different. Alright, so the console from 49 Ford is done and done, and this thing looks great. I couldn't ask for it to look any better. So with that being said, I'm going to go get it in the truck so we can get the truck out of the shop.
Day, 49 Ford's pushing about 100 horsepower. The new Coyote engine is going to give this truck a lot more power. But these engines come with a lot more wiring than they used to.
I haven't even seen underneath.
I want to hide all the wires going to the engine base so it looks super clean.
I got a problem.
What?
So I'm trying to figure out how I'm getting the main power cable to the starter and then to our Pack 80 without being seen. We definitely can't use the half-inch tubing like we're using on everything else.
Yeah, that's not gonna work either.
And I could come inside the cab, but I mean, that's gonna mess with the interior.
I think that's really the only option right here that we have. That's just all there is to it. You're right, and you just get to look at.
Everything on the truck is strategically laid out as from a fabricator, a little harder. When I'm doing what I have to do, I try not to interfere with whoever's doing interior or fabrication or whatever. But I mean, sometimes you got to put your wires or put your mount wherever it's got to go. And I mean, we're all good at what we do, so I mean, the next person, it might be a little more challenging, but they'll get it figured out. We're gonna go ahead and start trying to fish the wire through. This one was a short run. It went through a lot easier than I thought. Not a good idea to get too excited. Usually when that happens, the next one gives you problems. Most likely it will. Yeah, we're definitely caught up on something. See, I knew the back couldn't be as easy as the front.
I know I'm right there at that sway bar because I'm kind of getting caught, so I'm just trying to flip the line till I don't feel it.
Man, we got it. Now we'll go ahead and tie our wires onto this and get them pulled down the frame. Harness that goes on the Coyote motor, one of the main plugs that goes to the ECM is in the front because that's where the computers mount factory. So I went ahead and we cut open all the loom on the harness. I moved the plug inside the cab. Doing that, it caused me to have to extend some of the wires for the sensors. We got to cut these open, lengthen them, we'll solder them up, doing it one at a time just so we get rid of some of the mess and it looks clean at the end. This part of the electrical is pretty crucial. Without this being done right, the truck's not gonna run. Building something like this, every minute of it's hard. Like, it's a pain, and you have to really love doing it to stick with it, ride it out to the end. To me, it's fulfilling. That creativity, don't be scared that somebody might not like what you did. I mean, that's how you set trends, like by doing new things that nobody else does. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that do it for the recognition of building the cars, but I mean, most of us, we do it because it's what we love to do. Moment of truth. Well, let's do it.
Please start. Right, Matt? It says start. You tell me when you're ready.
Go ahead. Let's go!
Damn, that was loud as hell.
Badass feeling, for sure. All that hard work, and it's there.
I don't know what time it is, but it's late, and that's a good payoff.
And the rest is up to them.
Let's go.
Every build we do is special to us, and the customer, of course. But this 49 Ford's maybe a little more because it's a gift. And it's almost there. We're putting the bed floor together one last time. We're installing the bumper and hood, buffing and polishing. And after 8 months of hard work, we're ready to give this one back.
Once the vehicle is actually here, it's just an immediate rush of let's get this part, let's get these parts in. I have to be been doing this for 15 plus years, working with cars, trucks, moving out here, doing the big move with my family. Didn't know what to expect. The first 2 years being here, man, it's been one of the wildest, craziest rides I've ever been on. I fit right in with everybody because they speak the language that I speak, custom trucks. But Bill and the guys get in the back and they start going. The end product is like no other. You wouldn't even know that was the same vehicle that came in the first day. At the end of the day, you're making somebody's dream really become a reality.
Oh, look at that! Oh my God!
The detail and everything that the guys in the back have done to that truck, it makes me very proud to be a part of that.
Hi.
Hey, Stephanie's convinced me that her dad has no idea where his truck's at. Stephanie, Bill?
It's Carol, my dad.
Carol's Bill. So we're going to play a little joke on him, have him come in,
She didn't know anything.
I wanted to talk to you about my dad's 1949 Ford F1.
They're coming in today for her dad to tell me what he wants in a build.
I had one in high school, and I sold it. And I've regretted selling it.
Along the way, right?
Yeah. I've seen builds work before, and I think this is the place to get my dream fulfilled and get him to build this truck.
You know, the 49 Ford is a cool truck. I can definitely see you wanting something really cool built out of that. But we might have a little surprise for you. Stephanie brought your truck in, a while back, and we've been working on it for you already.
Really? You pulling my leg? What'd you do?
Come on.
All right. Let's go see. Oh my God. Oh my God. Bill. What you gonna do? Oh my God, my family's tearing off.
Yeah.
Man, that thing's
well, you like
beautiful. It? Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's on the ground even.
Well, yeah, we had to make it low for you.
That's pretty low. My dreams come true. I walked out here and I saw the truck. Oh my God, everybody was hollering at me. I'm very grateful and blessed to have such wonderful people in my family. My gosh. My family was in on this. I can't even tell you how much that means to me. Y'all did good.
You did good. Yeah, y'all did good. Fantastic.
All y'all did good. It's beautiful.
When she brought your truck in, I kind of really didn't want to tackle it. It was just so much work involved to take something like that and make it into something like this. But she talked me into it. It was a special project, especially for you.
I had one in high school, and there's no way we could have done that in high school. There's so many things I see that I like and that somebody did work on.
Every one of these guys got blood, sweat, and tears in it for sure.
Did they have tetanus shots?
Oh, yeah. We're all up to date.
Up to date? Oh, I can't imagine how much time and hours that they spent doing metal work on the truck. The bed, the fenders, the drip rail, all of the body seams welded and cut up. Unbelievable metal work. That color is crazy, man. It's so deep and it kind of flops when the sun's on it to a black in the shadows and all.
Over a black base.
You couldn't have picked a better color. Got me chrome.
There's a little bit of chrome underneath.
There's a little chrome on it. Okay. That's what we wanted.
Everywhere you look is custom touches.
Yeah.
You'll be hard pressed to find a 49 Ford like this anywhere on this planet.
I would agree. Oh my God.
You see that 5.0 fits really good underneath the hood. Now, we had to make a whole lot of room, and while we're making a lot of room, we made a bunch of handmade panels to make it look even better under the hood.
The inner fenders are all welded up. There's no seams in the bottom part of the front fenders. I don't have words. I mean, it's just fabulous.
If you're liking that,
I like that.
For you to check out.
I like that. Golly. Wow.
Nice. Very nice.
Big transformation what was there. There wasn't anything there. I mean, your interior was missing the floor. We repaired all that, slicked it all out. John Burgess got busy in building everything you see in there pretty much.
Holy Jesus. John did a fantastic job on that interior. The door panels, the seats, the carpet, the dash. That's just one of a kind interior.
Just gets better and better.
I think this is one of my favorite parts of the truck for sure. When you're behind it, you see those 22x12s with the big tires on it. The handmade bed kind of built to the suspension and the wheels and tires.
What holds tailgate on?
It's all actuated.
Actuated.
John, help me out.
Wow, that's so cool.
Oh, Lord. What? Oh, look at that.
Wow.
Bed floors all on actuators too. You can see all that framework.
Wow. There's your independent rear suspension. It's beautiful.
beautiful.
And you see that's all connected to a brand new chassis front to back. Every bit of the suspension in the front is all been handmade with air suspension, so you can raise and lower it and still have that nice comfortable ride also. It looks just as good looking at every angle from underneath as it does from the top.
Wow, it's fabulous.
You know, I always say it's not a one-man show. I mean, it takes everyone in the shop to work their ass off all day, every day to see projects like this to the finish line. So how do you think we did, man? Is this the truck you was hoping for?
Yeah, it's everything I could have dreamed of or imagined. All, baby.
You're welcome.
Love you.
Love you too.
Thank you, Bill.
You're very